So I set out to make a new short horror film with one goal in mind: cut my budget down to the lowest amount possible, and then see if I can still make something just as great for less money. And in my opinion, we pulled it off. The film is called Drop Car, and it's a quick 7-minute horror story that takes place inside an SUV. It's on YouTube right now, so go check it out if you haven't already.
Do it.
But if you have seen the movie, I'm going to walk you through how we made it on such a small budget, and I'm determined to keep this video shorter than the actual film, so we're going to run through this in less than 7 minutes. Now, I've made 3 short horror films prior to this one. The cheapest film I've made up to this point was my second short horror film, Don't Hide. It was a 12-minute flick, which cost $7,000, and it took us 3 days to shoot it. The point is that making these films was becoming too expensive to do on a regular basis.
That's great! That's just great!
And I know that there's plenty of decent DIY short films out there that are just made for like a couple $100. I mean, I grew up making films like that, so I knew there had to be a way of shooting something of quality for just way less.
How are you going to do that?
When you're working with basically no budget, you have to reverse engineer everything. Essentially, that means working backwards. I mean, how much money are you willing to spend and what do you have at your disposal? So I ran the numbers and I decided I wanted to take the lowest amount of money I have spent on a film and cut it in half. And I know that's still a good chunk of change that most filmmakers would love to have for their short films, but I've been trying to maintain a quality for my short films, and I wanted to see if I could produce at that same level with less money. So working backwards with that target budget, it became clear we'd have to shoot in one location for 1 to 2 days max, use 2 to 3 actors, and just a bare bones crew. This means just the camera, some sound, and if we can save in other areas of the budget, maybe we could squeeze in a PA.
Got a plan.
Now, in my experience with indie filmmaking, the biggest expense is always the location. But instead, it dawned on me that we could actually use my Honda Pilot as the main location, which would free us up to shoot most anywhere we wanted. Kind of.
Cops! We don't have a permit. Run!
And once I figured out that key piece, everything kind of fell into place with both the story and logistics. Based on previous shoots, I knew we could average shooting about 4 pages a day. So if we're filming for 2 days, the script would need to be 8 pages max. And now with all of these parameters in mind, I brainstormed supremacies for the plot, and one idea stuck out to me. What if a guy is hiding out in a getaway car and the radio starts talking to him?
That's good. You're darn right, that's good.
The mystery of that idea intrigued me, so I started crafting the story, and if you've seen the film, we tweaked the concept a bit, but it's mostly the same premise. Once it was written, I put out a casting call and I was able to find the supporting roles pretty quickly. Darren Brown and Jason Pierce fit the roles perfectly, and they were just easy choices. However, it was actually pretty challenging finding the right lead for the film. And no disrespect to the actors who auditioned for the part, because many of them are decent actors, but just nobody was capturing what I was going for. That is until the last audition I received from Basilio Cerdan Jr.
Listen, I gave.
He was fantastic. He just got the exact tone and performance I wanted for the lead, and it was such a huge sigh of relief. So moving into production, I ran more numbers in the budget, and I was able to squeeze in a small location where the car could be hiding out. And shout out to Real Deal Studios for having us. They were great hosts, and I highly recommend them if you're doing indie shoots in the LA area. But the biggest challenge of shooting outside at night is the amount of interferences we just didn't have any control over. I mean, there's planes overhead, sirens, traffic, and just people in general that were coming and going near the set.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tons of disruptions, and this is why it's so much easier to just shoot indoors. Another challenge was positioning the camera inside the car. We only had so much room where we could place our Alexa Mini inside the vehicle to get the coverage we needed. And on top of that, it became creatively challenging to find different angles to make the scene interesting. I mean, you can only cut back and forth with the same 3 angles so many times, but at the same time, there's only so many places you can put the camera. So I shot listed everything, and I knew exactly where the camera needed to be for every line of dialogue. We were able to get everything we wanted, and back-to-back overnight shoots are always brutal, but everyone just did an excellent job.
Way to go, dude! Hooray!
So I headed off to post, where again, with our limited budget, I was just gonna have to do most everything myself. The first area I did need help in was actually visual effects, so I reached out to my brother Cody, where he touched up some shots that just needed a little fine-tuning. And then when it came to music, I assumed that maybe I could get away with just using royalty-free music. Yeah, that didn't work out.
not a great plan.
The film really needed its own unique score, so I decided to bring on composer Narek Mirza. We got all of the finishing touches added, and I can tell you it's always a nerve-wracking experience to preview your movie to see if you even like it. So I watched it, and I actually really liked it. I mean, I know it's probably not my best work ever, but I'm serious when I say that I'm actually really excited with how this all turned out. I mean, the actors all really brought their A game, and it really elevates the film. And I really want to give a quick shout out to Darren and Jason in particular for doing these little mini stunts. They dropped out of the car for every take and slammed their full body weight onto our tiny crash pad.
You okay?
Yeah.
Bro,
You sure?
sick.
That sounded brutal. Well, man, you all right?
Was that good?
That was good. Are you all right?
Yeah, crash pad for the win.
My DP, Josh Nitschke, really managed to create the right look and feel with very little to use, and it just shows his talent. And yeah, I'm bummed that we weren't able to work with a lot of our friends and usual crew members that we always use on our shoots, but I do believe that we managed to create a decent film that I'd happily put alongside my other films. I mean, in my opinion, this experiment worked, and it just proves that money isn't the end-all be-all of good filmmaking. It's about the story and the execution.
That's how winning is done.
In the end, I'm happy we accomplished our goal of making a quality film for half of the amount. And as promised, we did all of this in less than 7 minutes. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Till next time, everybody.